Before we move on from transfers, we couldn't not talk about Marcus Rashford because, of course, we knew he would be on his way out.
Do we have to keep talking about him?
Just to finish off. Just to finish off. I know you've been speaking a lot about him, as has everyone else.
Yeah.
Just with the move to Villa, Crookie, do you think...
He had loads of clubs in for him.
Is that not... Again, the most delusional and ridiculous thing. Like, just when I thought this guy could not get any more delusional, he sits there and says, oh, there was loads of clubs that came in for me. All due respect to Aston Villa, but to say, but, you know, when Aston Villa came calling, I just knew. I mean, you know more than anyone. You tell us now, how many clubs did he actually have in for him?
Well, up until the last weekend of the window, United hadn't received a single formal approach.
There you go.
Which is why the Villa move happened so quickly. And again, we broke the story at the weekend. I mentioned it already. Rashford was told in no uncertain terms, because I think he was prepared to sit there and
probably sit on
try and get back in the team.
Yeah.
You have to take this move because there's no one else at the table and you're not going to play if you stay. I think that's why it happened almost overnight, didn't it?
Why is he lying to all these nice people? Why is he lying to all these nice Aston Villa fans? Just be honest.
Yeah. He doesn't write his own social media.
Well, what I thought was, I looked at Marcus's in-house media interview with Villa TV and I saw the line as he was going on saying, well, I'm only here for a short time, so I want to do the best in that time. In my head, I thought, 40 million option here. If I was a Villa fan, do I want that short-termism to be so expressed?
He thinks that Barcelona...
He's going to get to the summer. He's basically saying that.
Delusional. He thinks that Barcelona are going to see him playing for Aston Villa, phone him up, offer him 500 grand a week, a beautiful mansion in Barcelona, and he's going to sail off into the sunset.
Is that not possible if he rediscovers his form and gets playing? They're in the Champions League.
He genuinely thinks that he is deserving of that.
But if he shows, and this is the flip side, when you look at the move to Villa, listen, Villa are a far better team than us at the moment, this season, this year, last year as well. They're a good side. Emery's a very good manager, has got a great track record of developing talent, developing players who need help. Is there a chance? I know people have written him off and said his attitude's poor, he can't do this, he can't do that, and saying, you know, basically living on a different planet if you think you're going to end up at Barcelona.
Maybe he will, I'd be surprised.
Is there a way where this move is actually a good thing for him? He rediscovers his form, and then all of a sudden, I've got people around Europe going to tell you what, there's 3 or 4 months worth of good work. That's the Marcus Rashford we know. Price goes up for Man United, he gets a move abroad, what he wants, and Man United get a price that they're happy with. Or is there any way he could stay?
Do you know what? I actually don't care. It doesn't bother me what Marcus Rashford does in a Villa shirt, because I think it's really sad that he's come to this. You know, he's someone who grew up as a Manchester United fan, grew up in the city, poster boy for the academy. I was there against Arsenal when he scored those 2 goals in his Premier League debut. He had the world at his feet. He started at such a young age. We should be talking about him potentially being United's record appearance holder, record goal scorer. And the fact that he's not applied himself in the proper manner to such an extent that he's been told by the football club, if you stay, you're not going to be picked by the manager. I think it's sad. I think it's disappointing for him. It's disappointing for the United fans who largely stuck by him. But if he never plays for United again, the last act in the United shirt was being booed off after an utterly abysmal performance in Pilsen.
Oh no, Pilsen. Oh yeah, it was Pilsen.
In the Europa League. That'll be Marcus Rashford's United eulogy.
Should we remember that, 130 odd goals, picked up some trophies, lived the dream?
I think it's been tarnished.
It's been tarnished.
I think him, and again, I stress whenever we talk about this, it's nothing to do with Henry Winter, who is a fantastic journalist. Yeah. But I think for him to go and, for him to go and do that interview and say, I want a new challenge, that for me tarnished everything. And I think Man United fans now need to look at it in a different light. It's a 20-year relationship with a club. He's been there since he was 7 years of age. It is heartbreaking. It is sad for everybody.
Was he not being transparent doing that? By making it clear to say, I want a new challenge, consequently going on to not play any games because I said I want a new challenge.
Should have been to get his form back and play for a new manager at Manchester United.
He should have been more transparent and said if it was that he wanted a new challenge with Manchester United, say it. He left that purposely open to interpretation.
Without actually saying I want to move, because if you come out publicly and demand a transfer, then there's all kinds of financial implications regarding image rights.
So you think it's been managed quite smartly behind the scenes by?
I get why people blame the club in some aspects of maybe not handling things perfectly, but I think a lot of the blame lies on him, and I think Man United fans now need to look at it and be Marcus Rashford's biggest cheerleader if you want, because if he performs well, that means that he can actually go and can get some money for him.
I do agree with that. I mean, it was the same thing when Sancho left, you know, to go in Dortmund. All of a sudden, it's Dortmund watch, and as soon as he has one good touch or beats a player, as soon as he's at Chelsea, you know, it's RC told you
2 goals and 4 assists.
But I don't think that he's gonna. I mean, I'd sit here and admit if I'm wrong, but I think Troy Deeney touched on it on a podcast with you that he's probably not going to move away from Manchester. Birmingham's not that far away. It's not like he's going to have a big culture shock or anything. He's still going to be around the same people. He's still going to be living the same kind of cushy life. Yeah, maybe the pressure's on him a bit because he's got to perform to get this dream Barcelona move. But I think
pressure's massively on him. It's great if he goes there and doesn't do anything, and all of a sudden he's sitting there with a jacket on like this on the subs bench. Meanwhile, Aston Villa are progressing to push for Europe and are progressing in Europe, and Marcus Rashford sat there on the bench. I'm not. Listen, I don't want to put sensational lines out there of his career's over, but it would do no help in trying to reignite his career. This is huge pressure.
This is the gamble for Manchester United, because is he going to go and do what Jadon Sancho did and perform well for Borussia Dortmund and then end up retaining a little bit of sell-on value, or is he going to do what Anthony Martial did when he went out on loan to La Liga and absolutely stunk the place out, and then you stuck with him again? This guy's contracted till 2028. He's on massive money.
Can I be honest before we wrap up on this? I've just got a feeling, the same way how you said you'll hold your hands up, that I'm probably the other way. I got a feeling he's going to start performing, which would throw up different...
surprised.
Which I think would wind fans up even more.
Of conversations, because what it would be, Crookie and Angie, would be, where was this? This proves that...
Which is another reason why you need to get rid of him.
Absolutely, but I'm not saying that means like, oh my gosh, look, Marcus Rashford's great, let's get him back. What I'm saying is I just feel like he'll get an arm around the shoulder from Unai Emery. He'll be in a team that plays on the front foot, that plays a high line, that plays quite direct in transition, which will probably suit him if he's wide left. You've got Ollie Watkins, who's got great movement. You've got Morgan Rogers in the centre. You've got McGinn and Onana behind that, who can work hard, or Tielemans, who can pick a pass. I just think Aston Villa could potentially get something out of him, and we see Rashford. I think it won't be long till we're seeing this and him smiling.
This can't be used as a stick to beat Ruben Amorim with.
No. It will.
Because what he's trying to do is set the right standard and change the culture.
Yeah.
If Rashford decides he's going to put a shift in for another club to suit his own ends, that's not on the manager or the club, that's on the player.
Absolutely.
Remember that.
He deserves praise, the manager, for the way that he's done.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see how that pans out. Let us know what you guys think about Marcus Rashford's move to Aston Villa, and of course what you think about the January transfer window in general. Was it a poor one or was it a disciplined one?